this is our second Midwest Connect, and I'm excited because I'm hoping we can eventually get some more people on, or at least, listen to the recording and get to, get some training done, share where we are all from, maybe even get together with people in our areas to do shows together, or maybe an accountability partner. So that's kind of what it's all about. Just because ever since our meet and greet that we had in Indiana, I thought that was fantastic being around everybody. Julie was there, and it was just great to be around all the people, and actually meet people and talk to them face to face. So I'm hoping that some people will be inspired enough and maybe hook up with people in their areas and they can get together and have their own little luncheon meet and greet, something like that. So, is there any guests on the call tonight? Anybody that is not a distributor? Just put your name out in the chat if you're a guest here tonight. Okay. So I am just learning Zoom, so I might be fiddling around a little bit till I get the hang of it again. But like right now I'm trying to connect to my PowerPoint. So give me a second. Can you guys see the screen?
Not yet. And all we can see is you.
Okay. Just give me a second here. I swear I'll get the hang of this really soon.
You will.
I know.
You've just always been afraid of it and avoiding it. Now you gotta do it. And you will now.
That sounds familiar.
Yes.
I know. Okay. So I'm going to share. I'm going to go here. I'm learning. It's taken me a while, but I'm learning.
Are things are starting to pop up, so you're working on it.
All right. Got it?
Got it.
Awesome. So if no guests on the call tonight, so I'm just going to start out by saying if there's a guest on the call, what we're going to usually do is just do a quick business overview for the guest and just talk about, what Mia Bella Candles is. And another good thing is the people here that are distributors can also get ideas and learn how to talk to people about the business opportunity also. So I'm just going to briefly just go through the slides, what I would be showing the guests. I talk a little bit about the company, how they're a family-owned company based out of Pennsylvania. They've been around for since the fall of 2002, so 23 years. Talk about the natural palm wax, how to get a little more into depth on that. A beautiful crystallized palm wax with the 100% cotton wicks, and talk about our new line of scent ways we have. I would then go into a little bit about the different ways you can sell, online sales, home parties, open houses, craft shows, things like that, and kind of go through this a little bit. Also talk about the custom labels and the fundraising, how we help groups and organizations, and also the cause candles, how we do almost every month a cause candle, and the company gives back for any candles over 50. They'll give a check out to a certain organization for the cause. And many times the distributors also donate to an organization, mostly in their area. And then I'll just kind of talk about how, we've met so many wonderful people in this company, how we're all helping each other and supporting each other, and there's never any pressure. Um, and also how we're trained with our team meetings, and also once a year we have a fling. And we also recently went to Costa Rica on a wonderful trip for the top trip earners. Talk a little bit about that. And then I'm just going to get into the 3 starter kits and explain to them the different prices and what they include, along with These are just the samples of the starter kits I would be showing, and also the monthly bundle options. So that's basically it. And let them know to get back to the person who invited them on the call to get all their questions answered. So that's how I want to start out each Midwest Connect for any guests on the call. But since we don't have any tonight, that's good. And we'll just go ahead to our guest speaker. I am so happy to have Cathy with us tonight. Now, Cathy Mahady is our Emerald Director from Minnesota. Hassan, is it Cathy?
Can,
Chan Hassan.
right.
Okay. I never could pronounce it. It's a suburb of Minneapolis,
Yeah,
correct?
exactly. Suburb of Minneapolis.
So I just jotted down some things that I wanted to ask you, and if you could just share a little bit your journey with Mia Belly Candles, that would be awesome, and how you're working your business and everything. So
Sure.
first, how long have you been with the company?
I started with Sensations back in October of 2003, the year that my daughter was born. So 22 years when the company was pretty brandy new. So I had the privilege of watching the evolution of Mia Bella Candles throughout the years when we did things a lot differently back then when we didn't have the tools and the resources and all that we have now to run our businesses. So a very long time ago, and have had various times where I needed to take a break, either entirely or just step back a minute and then re-engage. And yeah, I've been heavily involved in building my business for 22 years.
Awesome. That's a long time.
It is.
So how do you work your business around a full-time job? I know you work full-time. It's a very demanding job. How do you work your business around your job 5 days a week with your family and everything? How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you get so much done?
Well, the first half of that 22 years, I was home raising my children, my son and my daughter, and I worked Sensations just, full time. I didn't do any work outside the home. And then as my daughter got older, to about 14, and so much of my business became automated and did not take nearly as much of my time to grow and develop that I did start a job, an outside job about 8 years ago. So I've been working outside the home, and yeah, it's not always easy. Um, it's not a hard job, but it's just a very tiring job. I'm on the phone all day long talking to clients, just nonstop. So I'm tired when I get home. But how I do it is I make the decision that I'm gonna do it. That's the first step. That I know that my business is very important to me, and so I have to make that commitment that I'm going to do it. And I have a schedule. I know when in the week I'm going to be working my business. And the nights that I can't do it are, blocked off for family or whatever other important things come up. But I know what nights I'm going to work. And then I commit to doing that, whether I feel like it or not. Um, that's the biggest thing, is just getting started. I might be tired, but if I sit down to the computer, start answering questions, start, coaching my team, I get into it, I get motivated, and then I can sit there and, work from 7 to 9 easily once I get started. So mainly it's just that I made the decision that this is what I'm going to do. I have a schedule to do it, and then I show up and I commit to doing it.
Awesome, awesome. What is your favorite part of doing the business and why?
My favorite part really is the coaching. I'm a certified life coach, as well. So and all of my jobs I've ever had in my career are really revolved around teaching and coaching and motivating. So that is my favorite part. Have a large team, and I love being able to provide training that we do every month, coaching, teaching people how to be successful in their business. That's really what motivates me, is helping others.
So, how do you stay in front of your customers and any business prospects and distributors on your team? How are you always there for them?
Well, as I said, I have a lot of automation going on. I have a website. Again, when we started 22 years ago, we did not have the replicating websites that the company now provides to us. So we didn't have things like that product guide or the fundraising guide. We didn't have the shopping cart. We didn't have pictures of all the product. We didn't have all of that. So back in the day, we kind of developed personal websites, which we really don't need to do anymore because so much of the tools are made available to us, by the company. So when I got to answering or being asked some of the same questions, whether it was by a team member or, a potential new prospect, it was a lot of the same things. So I developed tools that were able to answer those questions, a training site for the team, and then kind of a business overview of the business where I could send prospects to those locations to read information. So a lot of it is just very, very automated. I use a contact management system where I have all of my customers listed in a list. Then I have a separate list for those who enter the candle drawing. I have a separate list for those who have expressed interest or conducted fundraisers with me in the past. So I have a list, a contact list, and then I broadcast emails. I send out information to those various lists on whatever topic that I'm wanting to share with them. So I've just built that list over many, many, many years, just constantly adding names to the list and staying in front of them on a weekly basis. So my customers and business prospects, they know me by name. I keep a consistent branding. So when they get an email from me, they recognize that it's from me and Mia Bella Candles. So just kind of using tools and staying in front of people, never taking anybody off my list, allow them to take themselves off the list when they have determined that it's not something that they're interested in. Otherwise, I have people both as customers, but also, business prospects that have been on my list for, 10, 15 years.
How often do you send them emails, Cathy?
Oh, 3 to 4 times a month.
Hmm.
It can vary, like on the first of every month, I'm sending out an email telling them about the fragrance of the month. Might be telling them about an event that's coming up. I might be sharing with them a new product like the scent sways that came out, or the business overview that we will do once a month. So it can vary, encouraging them to enroll or enter the candle drawing. So my customers on occasion will get information about the business, and the business prospects also then get information about the products and the potential to purchase. Like this weekend, I sent out an email to my list about the free shipping with the Memorial Weekend special.
Have you ever had anybody never respond from those lists and then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, you get a sign up or something? I mean, did they
You
just
know,
hang on your list and you never hear from them?
Yep. Yep. And it could be somebody that I thought was very serious and had, lots of communication, and they're telling me that they're going to do it, and then they fall off the face of the earth. And you think, what happened? And then, then out of the blue, they'll respond to something that was sent out to them, and they'll say, hey, you know what? I'm still interested in this. I know I kind of disappeared there for a minute, but life got tough, or something happened, or just the timing wasn't right. But, I appreciate you staying in touch with me, and I think the time is right for me now. And that could be, years after they first came onto my list.
Yeah, I know that happens sometimes. It's just amazing. The timing just not right for some people, and then all of a sudden you hear from them.
Right.
So, what are say 3 important steps that you do daily to be successful?
Well, I'm always checking in. A day never goes by that I'm not engaging in my business on some level. So checking into the Facebook groups, whether it's the company or our team group, making myself available. Um, when I get home in the evening, then yeah, I'm answering questions from prospects, doing personal coaching calls with the team, just always engaging in the business. Some days I don't have the time to work it, but I'm still always there. I'm still always checking in, I guess, on the days that I'm not fully putting in, a couple hours at a time. And then I do constant learning, constant self-development, reading, encouragement, motivation, all of that to keep myself motivated and up to speed in what the industry is about, as well as having topics and ability then to turn around and turn that into a training for my team. So showing up, always being available, always learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think personal development is so huge in any business, getting the right mindset because all the ups and downs you get along the way. Um, what do you see most that distributors struggle with in their businesses and why they might get discouraged?
I think it's usually a false sense of expectation. I think, when we get involved, we're excited and we just assume that everybody that we tell, whether it's about the product or the business, is going to be just as excited and eager to jump in as we are. And that's not always the case. So it's not a business that's built overnight. You don't start making a part-time and definitely not a full-time income, within the first couple months. I think just unrealistic expectations that it sure would be nice if every person that you talk to was interested in your product. But, there are people that don't burn candles. It might be nice if every person that you talk to wanted to join you in business because you see the value in it. They don't or may not yet see the value in that. So I think if they can be inoculated into that, this is going to take some time. But if you stick with it and you give it the time and you are still there when somebody does show interest, that's when your business is going to grow. I think too many times people put out their feelers, they start building their list, they get discouraged, and instead of just sticking with it no matter what, they quit. And then that customer, then they want to come looking for them, or that business prospects now says, okay, now I'm interested. And the distributor is poof, gone. They decided that they didn't want to stick with it. So I think that is what is one of the most common struggles for distributors to realize that it's going to take some time and that it's not always easy. But you know what? Building any business, whether you're buying a McDonald's franchise, or a Chick-fil-A franchise, whatever, building your own hair salon, all of those businesses are going to take time, energy, money, and focus. And for some reason, there's this unrealistic expectation that a small business in direct sales should be any different. And I think when you can realize that it's a real business, it takes real effort and real time, but when you do that commitment and you stick with it, then the results and the success that come will be so worth any struggle initially.
Yeah. So how do you get through the fact that sometimes it's like, even with me, many years in Mia Bella Candles, your family and friends never purchase from you and they never support you.
Well, this is
How do you?
what's so fun. So I've been in this job for 8 years. Okay. So these, and I work with a bunch of guys and they know that I have a candle business because they know that every year I go on a trip. So they all know that I just got back, from Costa Rica and that I earned that trip through candles. And one of my great coworkers, for the first time ever in 8 years recently, asked me about getting a candle. He's a cigar smoker and he wanted to know how to get rid of that smell. And I said, I got this odor no more. I'll bring it to you. And he is so hooked now. And it took 8 years.
Wow.
But he's like, my family wants to try that Fruit Loops. So, honestly, I'll make posts to my personal Facebook page and rarely do those that are classified as friends and family ever purchase from me. But you know what? I still
Mhm.
have a very successful business and I make money, but it's not from the support of my friends and family always.
Yeah,
You know, because
same here.
I think I just recently, I don't know, a couple days ago, had seen a post that I thought was so relevant to this that I put in the group, and maybe I'll just kind of read a little bit here. That you think your closest friends would be your biggest supporters, but often they're the last to invest in what you're building. So this is not unusual. This is just kind of the nature of being an entrepreneur. But strangers will pay full price. They'll refer others and they'll cheer you on. While your friends, they ask for discounts and they just want to see if you're going to be successful first before they decide to support you. But don't take it personally. People support what they understand, and sometimes your vision is too big for them to, get rid of that old version of you. So keep building anyway, keep showing up anyway, because the right people will find you. And when they do, they'll value your work without hesitation. So let your success speak louder than your circle of friends and family not supporting you. So I thought that was really powerful to realize that it's not just direct sales. It's not just our candle business, that sometimes those that you think and hope would support you the most are sometimes the least likely to do so. But never give up, because 8 years into your business, that coworker might decide to become a very good customer.
Yeah, exactly. I had that happen with myself. My sister-in-law, I'm not going to say her name, but never bought a candle, never, she knows what I do, you know.
Yeah.
And then one day, just out of the blue, I got the email with the order, and I thought, oh, I got an order. So I went and looked to see who it was, and it was my sister-in-law. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I got all like excited. It was like, oh my gosh, she finally ordered for me. I gotta send her a thank you note. So I made sure I got a hold of her right away and thanked her, and just thanked her like I would have any other my customers. I wouldn't thank her any differently, you know. I really
Yeah.
appreciate your support. I hope you enjoy the candle. Let me know if you have any questions. Enjoy your new smells, and you know, but yeah, it was really exciting after like 10 years. She finally ordered from me. And I guess it happens to everybody, right?
Yes.
Um, so a couple more things I wanted to ask you. So direct sales is a roller coaster, many ups and downs, and I always say that. Um, how do you get through those down times and discouragement? You're not getting many sales and nobody's
Mhm.
joining, and you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. How do you get past all that and keep moving forward?
Well, I think first to realize that is the nature that's going to happen. You're going to have ups and downs. So if you just kind of have that realization, that expectation that is the way it's going to be sometimes, and not want to throw in the towel and give up because you're in a down cycle. So this month, I haven't had a very good month. One, I went on vacation to Costa Rica. And then I've been sick since I got back from Costa Rica for the last couple of weeks. So I haven't felt like working my business. So I have very few sales. It wasn't until yesterday that I did sponsor a new person. But I know that's not the end of my business just because I have one down cycle. Next month I'm going to be feeling better. I'm going to re-engage. I'm going to put more effort in. And I know that things are going to come. I know that summer sometimes can be a little bit slower. We got the fall coming and we're going to gear up for fundraising and the holiday season. So it's just kind of knowing that there's going to be ups and downs. And again, in any business, in any job, I have those ups and downs in my employment. So if you just know that that's going to come and it's going to be okay, but that constant self-development. I do a lot of reading again, of pulling yourself out of that, and motivational quotes, or post on certain Facebook groups, just getting myself in a positive mindset. I really believe that the outcomes of my business are really directed by where my mind is going. So if I'm down and depressed and thinking, this doesn't work, well, you know what, my business isn't gonna work. But when I know that I'm going to come out of this little cycle and it's going to be good, and we're going to, keep on going.
Yeah. One more thing. If somebody wants to build a nice sized business like you have and a nice income, what is your advice on accomplishing that?
Well, I think first it's making the decision that that's what you want. Second of all, it's sticking with it through those ups and downs and still being there in business. But I think you have to initially you have to learn one aspect of the business, get good at it, improve upon it, and then move to something else. I think, again, a brand new person, sometimes they get so excited, they jump in and they want to do everything at once. I want to do fundraising. I want to do shows. I want to build a team. I want to coach. And they don't really get good at any one of those things. And so they just kind of flounder around. And then, yeah, and then sometimes it doesn't work because they didn't get good at the one thing. So initially, I do want my team and a coach to stick kind of with one thing. But when you get to the point where you're feeling good and comfortable and confident about all the different ways that we make money, that's really how you build a big business. You can't do it with just fundraising, and you can't do it with just shows. You have to incorporate team building for the residual income, for sure. So it's a combination of using all of the methods that Sensations allows us, which again is a very unique business model, even in direct sales. We've got a company that, pays us very well for retailing the candle. And we don't have a lot of restrictions on how to do that. You could literally sell this candle out of the trunk of your car. You could do this at a big state fair. So you can do it from little to small. You have the choice of doing whatever you want, but you kind of got to engage in all of that. For that immediate income, you need to sell a candle so that you get that retail profit. But for that long-term retirement income, you need to build a team. Because like this month, I said I didn't have many sales, and I have only one team member join. So if I was relying solely on my efforts, my check this month would be rather small. But
Mhm.
because I've been building a team for years and years, my commission check really won't be any different than it was in previous months where my own efforts were more significant. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of building a team. It gets you through those times where you can't work your business, and still provides a paycheck. So I guess to build a nice size and a nice income, you got to engage in all aspects that we are afforded in this Sensations business.
Yep, exactly. Thank you so much, Kathy, for your wisdom. You're
Thank you,
you're an
Kathy.
awesome leader and you're an awesome coach, and we thank you for sharing with us tonight. Um,
Thank you. Oh,
Julie, we wanted to go over something real quick that some distributors don't know how to do, and that is to find information on our Bella Builders group on Facebook. So do you want to show
Yeah, I
them
can
how
go
to
ahead and
go
show you
about?
that. I just gotta remember. Okay, bear with me, guys, because
Yep, we're learning. We're
we're
learning.
all learning. All right.
We're
Oh,
gonna
no, hold
fumble
on, hold on,
around at
hold on, hold
first.
on. Give me one
You got
second.
it, Julie.
I'm trying to get off of is this move so I can exit out of this? Okay. There we go. All right. So I don't know if you guys usually use your phone or the computer, but tonight we're going to use the computer. So you're going to see the different tabs that we have. So we have discussions.
Hold on a second. Are you guys seeing her screen?
oh, not
No,
seeing
we don't
anything.
see
Oh, you're
this.
not seeing it? Okay, hold on. That's not good. I want to be able to see it. Okay. Oh no. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Can you still hear me?
Yep, yep, I could hear you.
Let's get back here. Where is it going here? It's not letting me do the screen share.
Okay, let's
Am I
see
the
here.
host?
Yep, you're the host.
I'm so sorry, guys. For some reason, the screen share part didn't come up.
Um,
Maybe I got to do it from here. Hold on.
okay.
Maybe I got to come back on here. See, we're tech people learning this stuff too.
That's right. But it's
Okay.
all
Ca-
not give
Kathy,
up.
It's all
I
there. You
usually
just have to
stick
find it
Kathy with the
here.
Zoom calls because I just fumble around with
Because we're
the,
learning.
but we
Right.
So
want to
we're
learn,
learning.
so this is what we
We're
have to
learning.
do.
Hold on. Record, we already did that. I'm so sorry it's not working. Host tools. We did this one. Share screen. Okay, here we go.
There we go. Yeah.
All
And
right,
you
can
should,
everybody see it now?
Not yet.
not yet.
Oh, it
Not
says you
yet.
can.
Nope.
Not
I'm so
yet.
sorry. Host
I know
tool.
it's confusing till you start.
Well, it says that it is sharing the screen. I've clicked it.
Do you have one screen or two screens?
I can see you when you talk in the middle, and then I have to go into my other ones, but you can't see what I'm doing here.
No,
No.
talking.
Hmm.
I'm not sure it worked before when we were practicing.
Yeah, I know it did.
Of course it
Hmm.
did, right?
Yeah, it
Isn't
was
that the way it
perfect
goes?
before. We were flipping back and forth. Okay, we
I
got it.
know we were learning, and you know what? You guys learn something all the time because as we were going over this, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know how to do that, but I'm going to train you on how to do it." So, like, I'm learning too. The tech savvy stuff is not my thing, so I'm still learning on that. So, give me a
Well, I'm
second.
just glad you reminded me to let people in because I forgot to do that.
I was getting emails or texts and people like, "Hey, I'm trying to get on." Yeah, I don't know why this isn't letting me get on. I am so sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, you try. See if you can get it to work.
I'm gonna reclaim the host, okay? All right, let me see here.
It also keeps telling me my internet is unstable. Maybe that's why.
Oh,
So the light's on, but I don't know.
all
You gotta
right.
love technology, guys. Bear with us.
Okay, let me see here.
There you go.
Can
It
you
worked for you.
can you see?
I
Yep.
can see
Okay.
you. See? Yeah, there you go. So do you want me
Okay.
to still talk or do you want to talk?
Um, okay, so yeah, you can tell me what you want to do and I'll just point it around.
Okay, that's fine. So you guys
Mm-hmm.
have your discussion, your featured members, all the different tabs here that are on your Bella Builders. I keep pointing like you can see me pointing. So if you go down, there is a little magnifying glass over here to the right, and you can search for whatever you're looking for. So say we've been talking about Fling. That really does build your business to go to Fling. So you can go straight into here, put in Fling 2025 and see all the latest information about Fling. Hopefully you guys are coming. How many of you guys are coming to Fling? Anybody on the
Yeah.
Some.
call that's coming to Fling? Yep, me
I
too.
am. Woo.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know, right? I hear a few. So it lets you find the information. So you're not like, man, I saw that post and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yep, for sure. So I'm gonna exit
So
out of there.
we're going to exit out of there. You can also, you see a lot of the posts have images
Hi.
on them.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, nobody's, you are unmuted. That's my granddaughter. Okay.
Sorry.
She hears grandma. That kind of messes things up.
Oh,
So if you go into your media, you're going to see all of the little pictures of the different candles so that you can save them. So you don't have to just steal them from when you see Kim post them, you can actually find them. This was actually something I didn't know. I always just pulled them from from the page when Kim posted them. So this was something I learned. So we are always learning new stuff.
yep. And then remember here's the albums.
Mm-hmm.
And you could click on albums. So say like you're looking for the summer fragrances. So they're all listed here. And then, it's alphabetical order, but she's got like different images for each fragrance. So you could scroll down and say like you want to do the Caribbean sky. Well, they're right all here, and you just pick out whatever image you like the best, and then you copy it and you save it to your computer so you can go ahead and use it. Okay. And then there was the one about the files we wanted to show. So the files, if somebody's looking for, like when we're talking about fundraising and like the pink sheet, how do I get the pink sheet, the individual order form? So here's all the spring, summer fundraising information. And if you look right here, you'll see the pink sheet and PDF, and then also the Excel right here. Or if you're looking for, say, like a fundraising flyer, like the flyer for the spring, summer fundraising. So just go down the list here and you'll see the spring, summer fundraising flyer. So you just click on that and you can download it to your computer. So all the information's in our files or in the media tab. And then if you're searching, like Julie said, it's right here. You just go to the little search bar. So I think we're going to be getting cut off in about 3 minutes.
Well, and thank you to Denise Malinsky because she always makes these for us so that we don't have to worry about our own pink sheets. We don't have to make them ourselves. She makes them and puts them on here for us less
Yes,
tech savvy people.
yes,
I know it helps
exactly.
me.
Can you see my screen Q&A?
I can.
Oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Does anybody have any questions before we get cut off about anything about your business or
I
anything,
have one
Kathy?
question.
Yes. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Is it possible if we can get like an outline of like the emails on what like how to approach customers so we don't see so it seems like more like professional, I guess, on like how you guys send the emails or messages to the customers?
Oh, like some samples of emails that we use?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep. Just shoot me a message on Facebook and with your email, I'll send you.
Ashley,
Be
are you
happy to.
referring to fundraiser, what we send off to fundraisers, or are you talking about just customers?
Just the customers.
Okay.
Yep, and like Kathy said, it's a variety of things. Like one week I might send out a link for the giveaway, enter to win the giveaway, or the next week I might send, the fragrance of the month, or the next week I might send a product guide and talk about that. I might talk about palm wax and why it's good for the environment and good for burning, and talk about the scent sways another week. So there's so much you can grab off the website and just take little bits and pieces. But we could send you a couple samples of what we do too. That would be no problem at all. So the next meeting, we're going to just meet up on June 24th, same time as we're always doing it the fourth Tuesday of each month. And I hope you'll join us again, and we're going to get cut off any second. And if we do, thank you so much for being on tonight. I'd like to try to get this in before we get cut off. The road to success is not straight. There's a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, red lights called enemies, caution lights called family. You will have flat tires called jobs. But if you have a spare called determination, an engine called perseverance, a driver called willpower, you will make it to a place called success. I love that
Oh,
quote.
that's awesome.
Love that. That's a great quote.
Just put
I
that
know.